Hello guys, welcome to Python and Machine Learning Daily. Recently, while browsing Upwork for ideas for videos, I've noticed two job offers. So you can earn real money, these are real job propositions, by splitting CSV files, which is possible in Python with pretty simple script. So I thought it would be a great task for beginners to show on this channel. So on the left side, you can see down below, we have over 2.5 million lines and we are not able to even open them in Excel and we need to split them. And on the right side, similar situation, large CSV files, 500,000 records per file. We need to split them down, probably to be able to open them at all. So let's do exactly that in Python script. Here I've opened PyCharm with empty script for now, and I've generated a demo CSV with 500,000 rows of years of experience and salary, and I've opened it in PyCharm so you would see the size, 4 megabytes. So step by step, let's write the script to split them. I will not be strictly live coding because I want to save you time, but I will paste the code step by step and will explain what we're doing. So here's the first part. We need to import the CSV library from Python, and we will build the chunk of rows one by one. We're reading the full file, and then we will do for loop and then append each row to the empty list. At first it's empty, and then we will append row by row. So if we leave it at this, the chunk will become 500,000 rows. But we need to stop it at some point. So we need to add an if statement. If there's 50,000 rows already in the chunk, we need to write that into a file. So here's our next step. So we have row count as a variable, 0 by default, and then for each row we increment the row count, and if it reaches 50,000, then we write the whole chunk to the file, empty the chunk, we set the row count back to 0, and then repeat the loop again. Now, how do we write that chunk? Let's explore that code. And here it is. We use the same CSV as we use for reading, but instead of CSV reader, we have CSV writer, and we open a new file, salaries-1, and we have a function in the CSV write rows, and all we need to do is pass the chunk, and it will be written. But the problem here is that 1 is static. What if we have file number 2 and file number 3? So this one should be another variable. So here I added a variable file number equals 1. Then we open that with salaries file number CSV. And I personally like to use so-called f strings in Python if we have string with variables inside. And then after this writing process ends, we also increase file number to +1. So now we can actually try and run that script and see if it's successful. We run it and see what happens. As you can see, process finished, and we have new CSV files on the left. Let's open it up. Salaries-1, then salaries-2, and others. And let's scroll down. How many lines? 50,000 lines, 50,000 rows per file. So it is successful. But have you noticed one thing that is incorrect? So there is no header. In salaries-1, there is a header. In salaries-2, it isn't present. So we need to save the header of the original file, this one, and then append it to the header of each generated file. And here's our updated code for that. Header equals empty. Then we read the first line of the file. If the header is empty, we read the first line as header. We save that and we continue. Continue means that it will skip everything else and we will get to the second iteration of the script. And on that second iteration, this will be false, so it will go for executing the rest of the script. And then we write row of a header before writing the chunk to each of the files. Let's try to execute that. No errors. Again, CSV files here. And let's check. Salaries-1 has a header. Salaries-2 also has a header. Salaries-3 also has a header. Great. But there's one more thing we need to take care of. In this case, I have a file with 500,000 rows exactly. But what if there's 500,000 and 100 or something? So extra rows. It will mean that row count will never reach 50,000 for the last iteration, and the last file will never be written, which is a bug, right? So we need to write another chunk, another operation of the file if the chunk isn't empty. So I added another if statement at the end. See indentation, it's after the whole loop. So we're going for row in header, and then if we still have the chunk not empty, then we write to another file again. And for testing that, I added a few more lines at the end of the original salary CSV. So there was 500,000 rows with the header, so header is ignored. And then the script should generate another new file, the 11th file with 2 lines. Let's see if it does that. We run, and as you can see on the left we have salaries 11 CSV with 2 new lines. Success! You could also do some polishing in the script finally, so you can see the repeating part with open, so that could become a function like write to CSV or something, but I will leave it to you as a homework. I will put the link to the full script on GitHub in the description below. You can play around with this file or generate your own files and practice splitting the files into smaller chunks. If you have any questions or comments or ideas for future videos, shoot in the comments below. And see you guys in other daily videos.